Next one is Matt. He says, I saw an old video you used to offer map pack guarantees within 4 months. Are you still able to get similar results with that time frame with your current link building SOPs? Or does it take longer now to do more competition and algorithm changes? No, I still provide that to my local SEO clients, my tree service contractors, because it's not a heavy lift. What I offer as my guarantee is, a 5 by 5 radius, 25 square mile area, right? So I tell them, that's not very big. It's really not. So it's not, and we just target top level search queries: tree service, tree trimming, tree prune, or removal. Excuse me. Those are the three top level queries: tree service, tree trimming, tree removal. That's it. Those three are top level keywords. And so I'll tell them, like, we'll get you into the Maps 3 pack across a 25 square mile area where your business is located for your top 3 search queries within the next 4 months, or we'll continue working on your project for free until it does. I can still offer that because that's not usually hard to do. And again, if you just follow best practices, standard operating procedure, that is precisely what this is. The local ops, this is exactly what we do for all clients every time. Right there's the checklist. This is precisely the sequence of tasks that we implement for every client and the timeframes. The timeframes vary slightly from client to client, depending on the complexity of the project. But this is pretty much SOP for how I get clients results every time. And for a small area like that, 5 by 5, so a 5 by 5 grid with 1 mile spacing, or you can, jigger it however you want, to make it about the same area, so you can have more data, but more data nodes, more data points, but still the same area. So that's all I do. We say and it's always where they're located. I don't care if they want to target 2 cities away. That's not what we're guaranteeing. We're targeting where they're located, full stop. And a lot of the times they're already, they've already got partial ranking there anyway. But that's what I guarantee. If they already have that amount of rankings, then no, I don't guarantee that, because there's no reason to. I'll tell them, like, we don't do guarantees for companies that are already performing well. We'll tell them we're going to push your maps profile coverage area as far and wide as possible, but we don't know how far we can push that until we start on the campaign. And that's what I talked about earlier, that kind of invisible barrier or boundary that always occurs, that yes, you can brute force past that at times, but it doesn't last very long. And so I found that when we find where those kind of edges are in the maps coverage area, that is no longer where if we typically can, with the methods that I just described earlier, guys, we can usually see improvements to start pushing in whatever direction it is that we're targeting, or sometimes multiple directions. But in any case, we can usually see some gains. They may be slight, they may be small gains, but we see improvements. But at some point, you're going to see that the gains stop. And that's where I tell my clients, look, we're going to find where this boundary is that the GBP just won't get exposure for beyond that area. And the way that we do that is after 2 months of consistent effort, if we saw no gains or very marginal gains, like not even worth mentioning, then after 2 months of attempts of trying to push that exposure expansion a little bit further, if after 2 months we don't see any gains at all, or only very very marginal gains, like nothing, not even worth mentioning, then we stop. We say we found it, and then from that point forward, we focus on organic performance beyond that section, or I then recommended the client to try to secure another GBP. But most of the time, that's not in the cards anymore, because the ability to get GBPs without actually verifying them, to a real valid business location now is much harder. So I tell the clients, I do still make that as an offer, like, or you can try to secure another GBP in, beyond that area, so that now you can get maps coverage there too. But most of the time, that's not really in the cards, because they don't have any way to verify GBP. You see what I'm saying? So we say, okay, well, you've got 2 other options. You've got Google Ads for the areas that we can't rank in maps, and you've got organic ranking. And those 2 combined can still generate a fair amount of leads, especially if they're doing local service ads. I've never done, I manage 1 local service ads client right now, and that's it. Never did it before. It's actually really easy to manage compared to regular Google Ads. And he gets pretty good results with that. It's the only client I've ever managed with the local service ads. But like Google search ads, just in the tree service industry, it's very hard to make them profitable, in my opinion. It's just, I honestly, I'm not a Google Ads guy, but so I just don't know how to do it. But anyway, that's what I was recommending. Okay.